What's good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason. We are back here for another one. Hope everyone is having a fantastic Thursday night, even though there is no Thursday night football. I mean, you saw the topic. I've had the room open since 6 p.m. So, I was the first on in this community to talk about Jim Harbaugh as a possibility during the Tua breakdown on Tuesday. And tonight, I decided to dive into it, and I'm going to present a ton of evidence that's going to pretty much sway you to they're going to pursue Jim Harbaugh. And I'm going to present to you guys a bunch of evidence of why they are going to, evidence showing that why they will if he throws his hat in the proverbial head coaching ring. And I'm also going to show you why, if they do move off Flores, why they're going to move off Flores. I'm going to give you the reason of why they're going to pursue Jim Harbaugh and why they would move off Brian Flores if Jim Harbaugh was available, right? So we're going to really take a look at it, because this is, now, at the end of the day, he could be leveraging everyone in the game for money at Michigan. But if you step back, and the reason why I think this is a real possibility, he knows he's not going to beat Georgia and Bama. He knows he's not beating Georgia and Bama. That is not happening. And the biggest weakness for Jim Harbaugh at Michigan right now is recruiting, because you're a non-SEC team and you're not one of those power. This isn't the 90s and the early 2000s where the Wolverines were held to that standard. You know what I mean? Like, I talked to Richmond Webb. I said, if I was a recruit, I'd rather go to Texas A&M than Michigan. Weather, okay? And then on top of that, if I post good games and put them on my resume against the Bamas and the Georgias, that looks good for my draft portfolio, right? Just like, dude, if people are going to go out to the SEC, Michigan's never going to out-recruit Clemson. It's never going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not going to. And he's got to ask himself, did I already reach the peak? He's probably not going to win a national championship at Michigan. Right? And Michael, I agree with you. Experienced coaches might not want to come here, but I'm going to tell you why Harbaugh makes sense and why he will want to come here. So, we go back. We start back. Let's start all the way back, all right? And I see people asking, well, what about Greer? What about Greer? I'm going to ask you guys this situation. I'm going to put it up to you. Listen. And if you saw me on Tuesday, I talked about this. Listen. If any of you were Chris Greer and I was Stephen Ross and I came to you and I said, listen, either you're both gone or you can keep your job and Jim Harbaugh is your coach, what are you going to say? You're going to say, Stephen, give me 10 minutes to go pack Brian's things. That's what you're going to say. I'm sorry. That's what you're going to say. That's just what's going to happen. Okay? And the other thing that Harbaugh and shows right, Ross would give Harbaugh so much power. Like, Greer would be there to facilitate Harbaugh, which is what he's doing with Flores right now anyways. So he's not even asking Greer to do much more than he's already asking him. We're going to get into this, but you go back. We'll start all the way back. Listen, let's start all the way back. Let's go all the way back. All right. And, let me bring it up here. Right. Let's go all the way back. I'm just trying to bring something up here too for this. All right. You go back to Sperano, right? You go back. We had just given Sperano a brand new contract. And what happened? What happened? We still flew out to Cali when Harbaugh was like leaving Stanford, and we still tried to court him. We didn't give a. Now, I know there's talk about how people didn't get along in terms of, Ross and, Ireland didn't get along with Sperano prior to re-signing him, but you just paid the man money. They did not care. Like, it did not matter to them at all. I'm sorry. It just didn't. And you go look at this, and, their relationship never got over it. It was totally split. Right? And, you know, I think what people are really discounting here is, think of how many coaches the second time around, the second chance they got, how successful they were, right? Bill Belichick, fired by the Browns in 1996, right? Was supposed to be hired by the Jets, maneuvered out of that, so he never coached for them. And he maneuvered his way to New England in 2000, built a dynasty. Don Shula, the winningest coach ever. All right? The Colts got a first-round pick for him to go to the Dolphins. And he turned a 3-win team into a dynasty. Second chance coach. Mike Shanahan. People forget Mike Shanahan, his stop as a coach in Oakland. Right? Fluttered out in Oakland, went to Denver, and his second chance was great. And then obviously Washington wasn't that great. Andy Reid, he was a coordinator, got the job with the Eagles, couldn't quite get there, took the job with the Kansas City Chiefs, Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes. You want to talk about ex-college coaches? Pete Carroll. Right? You remember Pete Carroll? They were actually, he had 2 playoff berths in 3 years with the New England Patriots. And, you look at what he has, you look what he did to the Seahawks. Right? He left, went to USC, right? Came back, and there you go. Right? People forget Tom Coughlin brought Super Bowls, to the Giants. Couldn't quite get there when he was in Jacksonville as a head coach. Let's go across the border. Marv Levy. Like, I'm listing out names here. You know what I mean? Marv Levy got 5 years with the Chiefs. Then look at what he did. He led the Buffalo Bills. And this is a guy who's already led his team to a Super Bowl. And he's more built for the NFL than he is for college. I mean, his weakness in college is recruiting. You take that out, boom. Other thing, what did he do? Ran a 3-4 hybrid defense in San Francisco. Like, I'm going to show y'all why this makes a lot of sense and why they're going to go down this path. Let's go into this. And Watson is going to be a part of this show. So smash that like button, subscribe if you are new here. Man, if you'd like to donate to the channel, paypal.me/Phinside. Become a Phinside the NFL Patreon, patreon.com/Phinside the NFL. Patch5s.com, use code Phinside, save 20% off of your order. Backroomcollection.net, use code Reason, save 10% off your order. And then ThriveFantasy.com, use code Phinside, have every dollar up to your first 100 deposited matched. So, let's go back in time. Let's take you back in time. Ironically, let's take you back to an article that in 2 days will be officially 11 years old. Let's go back to an article that came out on January 8th, 2011. Let's put you guys in the footsteps and start building to show you how badly Ross has wanted this guy for like a decade. All right, let's go to this. All right, so it starts off. It says Tony Sparano stared into space, stone-faced, tapping his foot and chomping gum. Miami's general manager Jeff Island, who wore a somber expression, his cheeks turning red as awkward details were discussed. Team owner Stephen Ross sat between them, sweat glistening above his upper lip while he tried to put lipstick on a pig of a week for the Dolphins. They did damage control Saturday, holding an extraordinary news conference to announce a 2-year contract extension for Sparano and to acknowledge mistakes in dealing with the team's coaching situation. The lines of communication should have been handled differently, Ireland said. Now, Ross said, I would go about it in a different way. Ross and Ireland flew to California for an interview Thursday with Stanford coach Jim Harbaugh, leaving Sparano in a very public limbo. Negotiations broke off. Harbaugh took a job with the 49ers, and Ross decided to keep Sparano. Ross took over the Dolphins 2 years ago, said he had never interviewed a coach before, and was naive to think he could keep his meeting with Harbaugh secret. So we've seen the basis of that. And I ask you, you see, he's talking like, oh, well, I shouldn't have done it that way. I should have done it this way. Guys, we look at how he handled the Deshaun Watson situation with his quarterback there, trying to get a phone call with Deshaun Watson. Has he really learned? He showed the same levels of malpractice with his quarterback 10 years later that he did back with Sparano and Stephen Ross. Sorry, Sparano and Jim Harbaugh. So I've showed you right there by lining that up with the phone call and how the Watson situation's been handled. You can't change the stripes on a zebra, it seems. He's the same guy. All right? Appreciate you, Florida born. Shout out to the wife for copping the hat. Okay, so he's the same guy. We've established he's the same guy he was. How he handled that Sparano thing, same guy. Same guy from 10 years ago. We've established that, all right? That took 2 seconds to establish that, all right? Like, it's really not hard. Now, let's fast forward to 2018, okay? And in 2018, this tweet caught a lot of attention. It was picked up by a lot of outlets. And, even like small sites like the Phinside picked it up, okay? And this is what went down. So, Stats on Fire, hold on, let me just show you who that person is, so you know. Stats on Fire, NFL podcast host for SB Nation NFL and Niners Nation, okay? So, and, they used to be part of Pro Football Talk Live. So you see alum, ESPN Radio, Pro Football Talk Live, okay? So, Pro Football Talk, Mike Florio, says he was told if and when Jim Harbaugh returns to the NFL, he's going to the Miami Dolphins. No word on when that would be, however. And this tweet is from 2018. So this is now 7 years forward. Whenever Harbaugh wants to come to the NFL, he's going to be Miami Dolphin. That's what they're telling you, okay? So this is before the Flores hire, right? We still had Adam Gates I think we had we fired Adam Gates? Yeah, I think we had fired Adam Gates at this point. So Harbaugh, Florio, it's even still there. All right? 7 years later. All right, now let's fast forward. This gets really good because check this out. Okay, we all know who is one of Stephen Ross's closest advisors ever. Guys, see, no one can stack evidence up like me. Like, I do research. I just don't give opinions here. No one can stack. Okay, so when you look at the situation, all right, who was Ross's closest advisor? Mike Tannenbaum, right? We all know Mike Tannenbaum still has, to this day, he still has Ross's ear a little bit, right? That's why there's some Herbert, he still is tied to Ross, all right? He still has Ross's ear. Tannenbaum still has Ross's ear, okay? So, I want to show you something from September 2019, okay? September 20. So, Flores is now hired. Flores is the guy. He's in position, all right? I want to listen now to how Tannenbaum phrases what he's about to say. Because the Harbaugh talk was still existing, and we are now into September. The 2019 season has started. The season where we won 5 games. All right? Let's see. And again, this is all if Harbaugh's coming to the NFL, be prepared. We are going to make a push for him. I'm telling you right now. Watch. All right, now let's go to this. And I've stopped this to the point. All right. So this is Omar Kelly, September 24, 2019. So ESPN is already sending Jim Harbaugh to the... And this is September 24th. So we're like 3 weeks into the season. Right? Just saying. So ESPN is already sending Jim Harbaugh to the NFL. And of course, the Dolphins get mentioned. And former Vice President Mike Tannenbaum weighs in on Dolphins owner Stephen Ross's obsession with Jim Harbaugh. All right? So here we go. Watch. I want everyone to listen. Give me a thumbs up in the comments if the audio works. Watch.
Would that seem like a possibility? I think Steve Ross is completely committed to Brian Flores and a long-term rebuild, so I don't anticipate a change. However, if he ever did make one down the road, Jim Harbaugh and what he's done with quarterbacks in the past, it does make sense. Does Harbaugh still have cachet amongst NFL owners and general managers? Absolutely. It's a supply.
Did you hear what he said?
Jeremy just said, but you look
remember,
for example,
guys, remember, this is now almost 3 years ago. Did you hear what he said? He's committed to the long-term rebuild, but if he's going to make a change down the line, oh boy, I'm going to play it back for y'all one more time. So y'all hear. Now you know what to listen for. Listen.
Would that seem like a
wording?
I think Steve Ross is completely committed to Brian Flores and a long-term rebuild, so I don't anticipate a change. However, if he ever did make one down the road, Jim Harbaugh and what he's done with quarterbacks in the past, it does make sense. Does Harbaugh still have cachet amongst NFL owners and general managers? Absolutely. It's a supply and demand. I appreciate what Jeremy just said, but you look at, for example, Cliff Kingsbury. He was the USC offensive coordinator. Matt LaFleur had very limited experience. Freddie Kitchens was a running back coach. Jim Harbaugh took the San Francisco 49ers to the Super Bowl. I believe he would be got a head coaching job in the NFL if he left Michigan. But, and I don't even like talking about it because I feel like we're burying him in Michigan now and they still have a lot of seasons.
I mean, what key wording, right? Key wording. The key wording there, I know it's low because it was recorded from a TV. But what's the key wording? He's committed to the rebuild right now, but down the line, if he's going to make a change, Jim Harbaugh. Boom! And now you're hearing Jim Harbaugh wants to dip his toes in. Again, it could be Jim, because I'm telling you right now, I want everyone to listen to my words right now. Listen to me. This is why I did this show. Because I know I reported the Harbaugh stuff during Tuesday's show with Tua stuff. But this is why I'm doing this show. I think this Sunday's game means more than anyone knows out here. And the reason I'm saying that is if we lose, we're under 500. We finish the season 8-9. Whereas if you win, you now have back-to-back over 500 seasons. If we lose, that's going to be even more of a reason for Stephen Ross to inquire about this. I'm telling you right now. And Benjamin Albright. Shout out to the homie Benjamin Albright. I'm not going to show you guys our DMs, But Benjamin Albright, he put out a tweet a couple days ago saying he knows 2 teams are interested. I told you guys this while we were live on Tuesday. I messaged Benjamin Albright, and I said to Benjamin Albright, and this is what Benjamin Albright is going to mention twice in this because he matters here. And I said to Ben, I said, listen, are the Miami Dolphins one of the teams? He said, I think they would try. I'm not sure they would succeed. But right there, he's telling you they're going to try. Because he tweeted out that he knows 2 teams are interested. He's right there saying, I think they would try. Boom. That's now. He's telling you right there they would make another run at Harbaugh. I've showed you evidence from 2011 to the time Brian Flores was hired that Harbaugh was still on the table. And Tannenbaum even put it out there. If Flores don't work out down the line, Harbaugh's a guy they could, like he literally told you. Down the line, if they look, he literally said, down the line, if they look to make a change, Harbaugh gets better. I'm not even done. All right. Brian Miller, he's a writer for the Fin Fanatic, okay, guys? He is a writer for the Fin Fanatic. He dropped an article in October when we were in the midst of our long losing streak. Now, this is what Brian Miller had to say, and I'm going to highlight it for you guys. He says, the problem is Stephen Ross doesn't know how to hire coaches. Tony Sparano was not his hire, but Joe Philbin, Adam Gase, and Brian Flores are. And all of them failed or are failing. Can Ross go through another coaching search? Who believes he could get it right this time? Many believe that he will pursue Jim Harbaugh, and that's a path that could lead to one direction. Now, this is not some jabroni writer on Fin Fanatic. I know Brian Miller talks to guys like Travis Wingfield. He talks to guys at like the Fish Tank. I know Brian Miller talks to people. All right. Now, I'm not sitting here saying Brian Miller is the most plugged in person in the world, but what I'm saying is that's why where he's hearing the Jim. This is back in October of this year. This is October of this year. So what I'm saying is Harbaugh is like, this is a reality if this guy becomes available. I'm not telling y'all whether he's right or wrong, whether it's right or wrong. I'm preparing you guys for the news. And I mean, the irony is hilarious if Flores gets Tua in terms of how Watson and Tua. But guys, you know, Jim Harbaugh is an elite coach in the NFL. Like Jim Harbaugh's first 3 years, if all of y'all are worried about defense, his defense was rated second, and third in those first 3 years. The guy turned a 6-10 team into a 13-3 NFC championship contender. 36-11 over his first 3 years. You look at how this team is built, he fits the mold for the strong defense we want to run. All right, let's keep it going, man. And now, let's go even further here, okay? So, you ask, well, reason, okay? What are some what are some enticing things, okay? Now, okay, you've shown us they would be willing, Ross really wants Jim Harbaugh, but why would they want Jim Harbaugh? You know what I mean? Like, okay, we understand his adoration for him, but if you look at it, why does he want Harbaugh? What has he shown beyond the Super Bowl appearance? What's so great about this guy? Well, I'm about to show you. Well, number one is what I just mentioned. The guy went to a Super Bowl. And you guys got to understand, Ross clearly wants his franchise quarterback right now, but this is all also a coach he views as a franchise coach. You know, from everything I understand, Stephen Ross facilitated Jim Harbaugh's, hire at Michigan. And, and obviously we all know that's Ross's alma mater. That's where Ross pumps in a whole bunch of money, is to Michigan. So, people need to realize, I'm about to show you guys some stuff. So I just want to show you guys. So you go look at more layers to this story right now. And there's some crazy layers starting to work out right now. So some key items here. Okay. So let's start off with his coaching staff. All right. When you look at the coaching staff that he had going on, okay? So Greg Roman was his offensive coordinator, right? When you look at Harbaugh and his offense, it was ran through Greg Roman. Well, the word right now, and remember my partner on Fin Too Deep, Neil Driscoll, who is connected to Jason Lackenfora, and he's locked into the Baltimore scene. The word right now is Wink Martindale and Greg Roman are going to be moved on from this offseason. And so, boom, right now that tells you it's looking like Greg Roman, his offensive coordinator from the 2012 Super Bowl team, he is going to be available. And I think why this is so key too is those two guys ran an offense with Colin Kaepernick, right? And if you look at Colin Kaepernick's skill set, Deshaun Watson is the elite version of that skill set. Deshaun Watson is what Colin Kaepernick would be if he was a high-level processor and had a strong arm. But then again, if you also look at the offense, Jim Harbaugh might be the only one that can salvage Tua Tagovailoa if he wants to move forward with Tua Tagovailoa. Because, what did he have on that offense? He always had a stout running game, and he always had a great offensive line. Right? Always made sure they had the offensive line, always made sure they had the running back game. Like Alex Smith, Tua. Right? You look at Kaepernick, Watson. Tua's an more elite version of Alex Smith, I think, in the long run. Just like Watson is the best out of the bunch, and he's an elite version of Kaepernick. Like, it actually makes sense when you look at the offense with Greg Roman and Harbaugh. And guess what? Harbaugh's proven he can put a Super Bowl contending offense together. And we're going to go into Jim Harbaugh's team rankings. Oh, we're going to go deep. I ain't done. We going deep. So I'm setting y'all up. And then here's the other one. Let's look at the defensive side of the ball. Who was his defensive coordinator? Vic Fangio, current head coach of the Denver Broncos, right? Well, see, I started doing this research yesterday, and I started connecting all these dots, and I was like, oh my God. Well, guess what Ben Albright tweeted out? Someone asked him, is it fair to say you are not willing to predict Fangio's fate as of today? Odds are whatever you predict will be accurate. Albright, I predict he will not be back. Benjamin Albright is an NFL insider, but the main team he follows is the Denver Broncos. He was in the Denver Broncos war room during their draft. Okay. He records his podcast from the Denver Broncos stadium. He is in the building. Okay. He is telling you, I predict Fangio will not be back. So you're telling me Jim Harbaugh See, that's why I think he's willing to make the jump to the NFL right now, because his guys are becoming available, and we all know these guys still all talk. So Harbaugh probably knows Roman's days are numbered, and he knows Fangio's days are numbered, and he's saying, boys, put the band back together again, because Fangio and Roman, they're going to need coordinator jobs. They're not going to get hired as offensive coaches, as head coaches. They're going to need coordinator jobs. So if Roman and Fangio aren't back, he can put together his core coaching staff. Like, this is them telling you, dude, I've been 31 minutes. I've been lining up so many dots of why this is probably not only going to happen and why they're going to pursue it. Now I'm going to start lining up the dots of what's going to be intriguing. And already I'm telling you, Neil Driscoll, connected to the Ravens, has told me Roman's going to be out. Fangio, Ben Albright's telling you right here, Fangio's not going to be out. This guy's going to be able to put together the 2012 coaching staff. And he's either going to have a more elite version of Alex Smith with Tua Tagovailoa, or he's going to have a more elite version of Colin Kaepernick with Deshaun Watson put on his plate. And even better, what's the other intriguing thing he's got? And by the way, calling Tua Tagovailoa a more elite version of Alex Smith, I'm talking about in their early years. I'm not calling Tua Tagovailoa an elite quarterback. I don't want people like flipping out. And now, what's the next thing Ross can bring to the table? Well, if you want to keep Tua or you want to draft a guy, we've got the most projected cap space. We've got the most projected cap space right now. We got $75.314 million. So now you can offer him the most cap space, the draft capital we have over the next 2 years, and he can bring his coaching staff here, it looks like. All right? Now, this is with Tua. If we stick with Tua, we got 75.34. But the reason, what if we don't stick with Tua? What if we want to move forward with Deshaun Watson and you got to pitch that idea to Harbaugh? Hey, let's keep rolling. I got it even better for y'all. Shout out to my good friend, my homie, my partner in crime, a man, I platonically love. I don't want people to put it out there, and because I know the haters be trying to bit stuff up. But check it out. It gets even deeper. Neil Driscoll did the homework for me yesterday. If the Dolphins restructured Byron Jones and cut Devontae Parker, Jesse Davis, Alan Hearns, Ethan Carter, Clayton Fledglam, Greg Little, that would offset the financial burden of acquiring Deshaun Watson, and they would still have $74 million in free agency. So I can give Harbaugh a plan with Tua or with Watson, and he still has about $74 million to play with. I'm just covering both spectrums. This is for the people that want Watson and for the people that want Tua. I've given you the numbers for Tua. I've given you the numbers for Watson. I'm not telling you which side they're going to choose. I'm saying this is what they can put on the table. So further enticing Jim Harbaugh. I'm telling you right now, he's not going to the Raiders. If they put this on the table, either this Watson scenario or this Tua scenario with his coaching staff, Jim Harbaugh, like I showed you in tweets in 2018, like Tannenbaum said in 2019, because I see there's some of y'all that are new here that just showed up, all right? Right now, they're showing you we got the money. Whether you want to go with Tua, whether you want to stick with Watson. Because out of all the names that are listed there, who are we really going to miss, people? Who are we going to miss? Because we're not cutting Byron Jones. We're restructuring Byron Jones. We're paying him up front. And for you guys who are new here and missed, I do want to play one clip for you. I showed everyone the Sperano stuff. I took everyone to a tweet from 2018 that showed Mike Florio basically saying in 2018, if you can go back and watch it yourself. But it's Mike Florio. It's a guy who worked for Pro Football Talk, saying basically saying Mike Florio was reporting at the time, if and when Harbaugh comes back. Here, I'll just show you guys. Let me quick, just to bring you guys back, okay? So there you go. Quick, we'll bring it. So there you go. We'll come back to these numbers in a sec. We'll come back. But I see we got way more people than we had. We got about, so I got to build my case quickly, and I'll do it. You guys can all go back and watch the 30 minutes. But here are the cliff notes if you just joined, okay? Because I see people blowing their mind and stuff like that. All right. When we look at Stats on Fire, this is from December 2018. Pro Football Talk and Stats on Fire. They work for ESPN Radio and Pro Football Talk. So they worked with Mike Florio. So it was basically, this is in 2018. Mike Florio was told if and when Jim Harbaugh returns to the NFL, he's going to the Miami Dolphins. No word on when that would be. Okay, so then we hired Brian Flores the next year, right? Correct, everyone? Well, what happened? I'm going to show you. Now, turn your volume up because it's quite low, but I want you guys to hear this. Omar Kelly shared this in September 24, 2019. So we're already 3 weeks into the new season. And he said, so ESPN is already sending Jim Harbaugh to the NFL. And of course, the Dolphins got mentioned. And former Vice President Mike Tannenbaum weighs in on Dolphins owner Stephen Ross's obsession with Harbaugh. And guys, we all know Tannenbaum still has Stephen Ross's ear. So I want you to listen to what he says about Brian Flores. He's going to say he's committed to the rebuild of Brian Flores, but if he wants to make a change down the line, Harbaugh's the guy. Listen.
Would that seem like a possibility? I think Steve Ross is completely committed to Brian Flores and a long-term rebuild, so I don't anticipate a change. However, if he ever did make one down the road, Jim Harbaugh and what he's done with quarterbacks in the past, it does make sense. Because Harbaugh still has catch.
There you go. NFL. So you look at that, and you look at the adoration is still there, the love is still there, it's still going down. I mean, you look at Vic Fangio, the word out of Denver per Ben Albright is he's probably not going to be back. The word out of Baltimore right now is Greg Roman and Wink Martindale are going to be gone. And Greg Roman and Vic Fangio were the offensive and defensive coordinators, respectively, for Jim Harbaugh's 2012 season. And then you look at the financial side of it, $75 million with Tua, or cut some guy, restructure Byron Jones, cut Sethan Carter, Devontae Parker, Jesse Davis, Allen Hurns, Clayton Fledgling, Greg Little, and you've got $74 million in free agency with Deshaun Watson's cap incurred. So, I mean, there's a lot. And guys, I mean, look at what he did with Colin Kaepernick. Look at what he did with Colin Kaepernick. Like, Colin Kaepernick, he only started 7 games in 2012, but he had 10 touchdowns to 3 picks. 2013, 21 touchdowns to 8 picks. You know what I mean? 2014, 19 to 10. He threw for 3,000 yards, over 3,000 yards in 2013 and 2014. You look at this playoff run in 2012, mainly a rushing attack. You know what I mean? Like, he only threw for 798 yards, 4 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Like, the guy made it work with, like, the homeless version of Deshaun Watson's skill set. You give him Deshaun Watson, imagine what he's going to do. And again, run game and offensive line. But let's dive into that. I want to show you guys right now because, guys, I mean, you look at what he did. When you break it down, what Jim Harbaugh did, y'all ready for it? This man is an NFL coach, and he's an elite NFL coach. All right? Did you know Jim Harbaugh has the 5th highest winning percentage amongst NFL coaches? Only Guy Chamberlain, John Madden, Vince Lombardi, and George Allen have better winning percentages than Jim Harbaugh. Again, this is another reason. Stephen Ross is going to look. This guy's been to a Super Bowl. This guy's put together a coaching staff. This guy's built a roster. Like, this is not going to help Flores' case. Stephen Ross is going to look at, this is another reason why Stephen Ross is in love with the guy. And the crazy thing about this is, the irony about this is, Flores, if Harbaugh is willing to dip his toes in the NFL coaching pool, Flores is about to get the Tua Watson treatment. So I'm just saying right now. And who are we going to trust to build an offense? Obviously, Flores can't build. And like I said, Fangio, you look at the defense they run in Denver. You look at the hybrid defense they ran in 2012. We don't need to switch personnel up. We have the personnel to run the defense Harbaugh ran in San Francisco. We have the personnel for it. We don't need sweeping changes. We would need the same changes we need with Flores anyways. We need the O-line to be upgraded, the run game to be upgraded, and figure out what you're doing at the quarterback position with Tua. Whether you're all in on him or whether you're moving on, they need to figure that out. You would need all the same stuff. And this is a guy who turned one of the worst teams in football into a 13-3 NFC championship contending team. All right, let's dive in, okay? How good were his teams? Let's see how they rank. And I want to explain this for you guys because you guys are going to look at it and be like, why are the numbers like that? All right. So, when you look at this, okay? Okay, let's look at the team's ranks, right? The second little chart at the bottom here. We'll get into the top one, but let's look at the start at the bottom one, all right? So, would you see like 1, 3, 7? That's their ranking. So, when it sees passing offense, 24th in touchdowns, they were 24th in touchdowns in 2011, right? But they were number 1 in interceptions. They didn't turn the ball over, all right? So, you look at the year they went to the Super Bowl. It was an Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick year. They were 16 in touchdowns, first in interceptions. They were 8th in net yards per attempt. Okay. As a rushing offense, they were 7 in attempts. They were 4th in yards. They were 6th in touchdowns. They were 3rd in yards attempt. They were 9th in fumbles. Right? Like yards is set off. They were 23rd in yards because they were 31 in attempts, right? Because they weren't throwing it out. Defense. They were number 3 in yards. They were number 2 in points allowed, number 14 in tackles. I mean, look at their defense during Jim Harbaugh, his time there. Look at this. 4th in yards, 3rd in yards, 5th in yards, even when they were 8-8, right? Even when they were 8-8, 5th in yards. Their defense was still elite when they were 8-8. But look at what he could do with an offense and a quarterback. Colin Kaepernick was holding that offense back. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. All right? But they could still run the football. And because they could still run the football, and because they still had a good offensive line and a defense, look at the success he had. 13-3, 11-4, 12-4. And the reason why he left in 2014 was the same reason in Jacksonville. While a lot of coaches don't want the Jacksonville job, the report came out today, is Trent Baalke, right? Like they actually had to get separated. He hated Trent Baalke. They didn't like each other. Like, this is why Ross is going to be so infatuated, right? I've shown you the receipts, right? Ross did Sperano with Harbaugh the same way he did Tua with Watson. The exact same way. He's the same guy. And their love affair has still gone up to 2021. It's still being talked about. And it's been talked about in 2019, 2018, 2021. You know, like, if we're all going to sit here and say where there's smoke, there's fire with Tua and Watson, because, I mean, some of us know what's really going on, you got to open your eyes to this one. If Harbaugh becomes available, you're damn right we're going to make a run at Jim Harbaugh. I mean, guys, we're talking about a .695 winning percentage, 5th all time, 3 out of his 4 years as coach. His team made the the NFC Championship game. And he represented the NFC in the Super Bowl once. First 3 years in San Francisco, his defense was second, and 3rd in the league. Turned a 6-10 team to a 13-3 NFC Championship contender. 36-11 in his first 3 years. I mean, you look at it. He matches what we're trying to do with the strong defense, the creative offensive play calling, and a commitment to a power run game. That's your guy. That if you want to get in the AFC East, you're gonna in the AFC and especially in the AFC East, you're gonna have to play smash mouth football. Harbaugh's the guy that will turn us into a smash mouth football franchise. I mean, you go look at the coaching staff on the Miami Dolphins website with Brian Flores, and it looks like daddy daycare. You go look at Jim Harbaugh's coaching staffs, the guy put together legit all-star coaching staffs. I mean, like, it makes so much sense. It's all about whether if he's leveraging us for more money for Michigan, then it's all a moot point. But if this is a reality and he's looking at coming to the NFL, then yeah. And K-Jax asks how Harbaugh going to work for Greer. Greer already facilitates what Flores wants. All he's going to do is facilitate what Harbaugh wants. That's all he's going to do. And I mean, go look at the linebacking core that team put together. Like, ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, unbelievably good. So, I mean, they had 9 Pro Bowlers on that defense. Patrick Willis. Now I know he wasn't drafted by them. You know, Patrick Willis was on that. Navarro Bowman was on that team. Again, he was drafted in 2010, I believe. And then Justin Smith was the second team. You know what I mean? And that's a guy who had been in since like 2001. You know, Joe Staley. I mean, you go look at their drafts under him. I mean, you go look at the production he got out of players. Like, good God. And it's just, I don't know, man. It's really impressive. I mean, if you know, highlight some of his you know, he traded, I mean, I believe they traded a lot of their draft picks too under him. You know, um, but I mean, this is an opportunity. Um, you know, if you can come away with Tua and Harbaugh or Watson and Harbaugh, holy jeez. Like, I'm sorry, man. And you upgrade that offensive line at the same time. Like, you know, and remember, he's the guy who drafted Carlos Hyde, right? Chris Borland. Remember the linebacker Chris Borland, who was amazing before he left for concussions? You know, Chris Borland was drafted by Jim Harbaugh. Carlos Hyde's still in the league. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I think when you look at it, when you sit back, it's like it kind of slaps you in the face, and it's like it makes so much sense that, you know, I mean, he drafted Aldon Smith, you know, Daniel Kilgore, who was one of the best interior linemen in the NFL for a while until injuries started piling up on him, right? Um, you know, I just it's interesting, and it's going to be interesting. I mean, you look at this guy. I mean, this is serious here. This is a guy with legitimate playoff wins under his belt. He knows what it takes to get there. he's put teams together. Now, if Harbaugh is not on the table, I fully expect them to stick with Harbaugh. I'm telling you guys, if Harbaugh becomes available, be prepared. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Be prepared. It's going to happen. If he becomes available, we're going to make a push. So, I mean, I've given you the timeline of the adoration between Ross and Harbaugh. I've given you the why he would fit as a coach. You know, the other factors taking place right now, it's just, it makes a ton of sense. It really does. So, what I want to do is also, I want to open it up to you guys for a little bit. I want to hear your thoughts. Let's stick to Harbaugh, Flores. I don't want to get off track here. But before we do get there quickly, the Dolphins announced their team award winners today. The most valuable player was Jalen Waddle. He won the Dan Marino Award. Don Shula Leadership Award went to Jason McCourty. The Ed Block Courage Award went to Alandon Roberts. And Jalen Phillips is the first rookie to ever win the Natmore Community Service Award. And Jalen Phillips looking like he's going to be a future Walter Payton Man of the Year candidate. So those were your team awards handed out by the Miami Dolphins. I think the only person that could battle Waddle for that spot was X, because he was instrumental in the New England win and the Ravens win, which were two huge wins. And he had a pretty damn good season, and your defense don't run without X. But Jalen Waddle, your offense, he was the most important piece to our offense this year. So, shout out to all the team award winners. But yeah, I do want to drop the link. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on Flores, on Harbaugh. Connor, no reports have really come out. I mean, the Las Vegas stuff is just, that's not even really a report. That's kind of like speculation right now. That's what that kind of is, man. So, right now, I think though, I'm telling you, because no one knows for sure, because right now he's at a stage where he's contemplating returning, right? He hasn't fully committed to returning yet. So what I'm doing is I'm setting y'all up. If he's going to return, be prepared. Z-Man, Trey, Crypto, RT, Todd, what's going on, guys?
What's up, Reason?
What's going on, Reason?
Hey, Reason.
I've been avoiding YouTube, man. I'm trying to stay off this Dolphin stuff, man. It's been too depressing, bro. Too depressing.
Now the real fun starts now.
Yeah.
Hey, man, the off season is here. Well, here we have it.
The Flores and Harbaugh talk, man. Hey, Reason, you just broke down some points on Harbaugh.
I guess
man. You got me pretty much excited.
Go ahead, Trey.
Just
yeah,
thinking
go ahead.
about that, man.
Yeah,
dude. You could put together superstar coaching staff, man, here in Miami, especially if we get Watson or Tua, like you broke it down, man.
Dude, and if you keep Tua, you could use some of those draft picks. You could go get Calvin Ridley.
Exactly.
Add to that receiving core instead.
And I said that on Larry's show today, man. I mentioned Calvin Ridley because he wants out of Atlanta.
Yeah,
man. And he's a homegrown, Florida guy.
And he's what we need.
Exactly.
He is what we yes, sir.
He will be our Stephon Diggs, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. And he will go up and he will high point football. He is what we need in this offense.
I agree.
To complement Waddle.
I agree.
Powerhouse, what's going on,
it just feels like at this point,
need somebody who's aggressive.
It doesn't even matter about Tua. I feel like they already moved on in my head.
From everything I understand, they are moving on from whether that's why I reported I was hearing Kirk Cousins as a potential backup plan.
That's terrible.
But it's this regime. Here's the thing: if you wanted to salvage Tua, Harbaugh's your better bet than Flores.
Then
we gotta go with salvaging. We gotta go with a whole different coaching staff if we want to salvage it. We can't stay with B-Flow and try to salvage Tua.
Yeah.
But the key is it'll be Harbaugh or bust. They're not going with any other coach other than Harbaugh.
No.
That's the thing.
So Harbaugh is really your only chance at keeping Tua, and that's if Harbaugh even wants Tua.
Look, that's
Because
that's if he wants the
Flores,
job.
if you're going forward with Flores, which is the only other option besides Harbaugh, then Tua will not be here. So I put it at a very someone asked me what's the percentage I give Tua back next season. I gave it 5%.
Let's push Tua to the side.
Right, that's what I meant by the Harbaugh or bust notion reason. That's what I meant by that.
Let's just not even talk about him. He's not even here no more at this point. Let's be honest with ourselves. Man. It's not even about the quarterback.
Big O is gonna be real mad. I'm sorry, Z-Man. I'm sorry. Big. I just had to say this about the Big O. He's gonna be a real angry puppy come Tuesday morning. When after Black Monday, you find out Flo is still a coach.
But don't y'all think it's ironic that we're hearing rumblings that he wants to return at the same time rumblings are pretty much about that the two main centerpieces of his coaching staff from his 2012 team are about to be relieved of their head coaching duties. It's like he's setting himself up where, okay, maybe I'll dip my toes back in because I can get my guys together. Otherwise, we might not be hearing this. And really, what's there left to do at Michigan? He's not beating Bama or Georgia. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he finally got one against Ohio
He'll never
State
have that
year,
type of
Yeah, exactly.
The scouting is not there, reason. The scouting in Michigan is not there for that. That's the problem.
Well, can you imagine us putting together that coaching staff?
Oh yeah.
I believe we can make it to the playoffs definitely, and even a Super Bowl within 2 years with that type of coaching staff.
Let me just say this, and people can say what they want.
It
Everyone
depends who's
knows
that quarterback.
Everyone knows I love Tua more than anyone, but here's the fact of the matter, bro. If we got Jim Harbaugh and traded for Deshaun Watson, and Deshaun Watson was cleared up of everything, you can convince me.
Hell of a combination.
We can make an AFC championship run, and you could maybe convince me that might be one of the better off seasons and probably the best off season we've ever had under Stephen Ross.
On the Ross since Joe Robbie was the owner,
I think they keep Chris Greer as a yes man, facilitate whatever this guy wants.
Greer's fine. Greer's pretty much safe now.
He's basically doing it for Flores, anyways, right?
Yeah.
So, what's up, RJ? What's going on?
What's going on, guys?
Hey, RJ, how's it going?
RJ, RD, here we are. We're up in
here. I know it.
If they change staffs, I'm cool with it because I don't think this staff is gonna build around any quarterback. So I mean, you could get a quarterback, but if you're just gonna give him trash and keep expecting treasure, then I can't help you. Sorry.
I want people to know this is the only way I would go. Otherwise, I would I'm okay with giving Tua another year if they decide that, but I don't think that. But I know they won't. I'm okay with giving Flores another year. I'm fine with that.
Right, that's fine,
I'm cool with that.
He
that's
deserves
cool.
it, man.
But I think this is the only other. I'm preparing y'all because it doesn't matter if you want Flores gone or if you love Flores. Just like it doesn't matter if you hate Tua or you love Tua. Watson is a reality, and the same way Watson is a reality, if Harbaugh is available, he will be a reality as an option.
Hey, he deserves it. He deserves it. Ain't nobody put no heat on Flores.
He's proven. Yeah.
Just imagine the amount of players that will want to come to Miami, too.
Oh, that's it. And think of it. We got to keep it consistent here, right, boys? If they want to upgrade Tua with Watson, why wouldn't they want to upgrade Flores?
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Yeah. The same energy goes towards upgrading the coach. Exactly. And because it's an addition. It's a math game at this point.
Especially when let's be honest, our owner loves the guy, bro. Dude, I mean, Jesus, the guy must be they must be at every bar mitzvah together.
And remember he tried to hunt him down during the Sperano days. Remember that?
Dude,
remember he went on a private plane.
Out there.
Exactly. A private jet. Went straight to the man's house and tried to recruit him right there on the spot. In Toronto.
That's a gym right
there.
Dude, no, Crypto. Because you might have come in late. Tell me what the difference is between because remember, after that, he said, I've learned that that's not the way you need to operate, right?
Right,
I've learned my ways. Tell me how operating like that is any different than trying to get Deshaun Watson on the phone when you got Tua in the house.
Exactly.
Tell me how that
it's no different.
The exact
same thing. It's the exact carbon copy. Exactly. Yep, right there. I'm like, man, the dude went on the jet.
You can't
Yeah.
change the stripes on a zebra,
great.
dude.
Oh,
Great-
and by the way,
great
reason I don't
business
know.
That was
if you remember
crazy.
Hold on a second.
Yep.
Jason was talking. Who was trying to? Someone was trying to talk, and Powerhouse was trying to talk.
I was trying.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Todd, then Powerhouse. Go ahead.
I was just saying, great businessmen are ruthless. They
Yeah,
don't
bro.
care.
Yeah, they'll walk over their
You're
mother.
right.
They'll walk over their mother to get to the top, bro. Like
They
don't-
will.
There are no friendships.
There's none. Yep, on the way to the
Scared
top.
money.
What's
Yeah,
crazy?
that's
Scared
crazy.
money.
But,
Don't make no money, man.
Yo, here's the thing, boys. What up, Innes? I think that clip I played with Tannenbaum, when I found that clip, bro, my jaw dropped. Because we were 3 weeks into the Brian Flores era. That was from September 24th, 2019. And what did he say? If Brian... he's committed. Ross is committed to the rebuild, but if he's looking to make a change down the line, Harbaugh is the guy that makes sense, right? And he goes off about how much Ross loves Harbaugh, like.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been 3 years, and that's why I'm telling y'all. If we lose on Sunday, I think this game means more than Flores than anyone else.
Exactly, Reason.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So this is more of a prove it game, or you got to say, hey,
Like I said,
we
if
we
the
rescued the
Pats
team type game.
Yeah.
Hey, Reason, can I say
on
one
us,
quick thing?
Man, Flores
Yeah.
is gone, man.
Yeah, go ahead, and then Trey can go. Go ahead.
Oh,
Uh, Stephen
sorry.
Ross and Chris
then
Greer
Power.
went to a couple of Michigan games this year.
Yeah.
I believe they had this conversation during the season.
Oh yeah, you guarantee when they talked about like the ends like a Jobo and a Hutchison, and maybe they've talked to him about Hoskins, the running back too. You guarantee they've had conversations because guess what? They were going to Michigan games while we were losing. Even more of a reason to have
On
the
that losing
conversation,
streak,
bro.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the players, most of those players, I understand the top guys, they're going to be taken in the top 10. We knew we weren't getting that pick because we traded it away.
Yeah. Yeah, we knew we were.
Yeah.
Hey, just adding more fuel to. Thank you for adding more to my argument.
Yeah.
Powerhouse, you wanted to say something, and then Trey, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if you remember this conversation we had, but it was like a year ago in the off season. We was talking about Calvin Ridley, how I told you that he went to my high school. He was pretty much my teammate.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I told you, and I told you if the time comes in and he's a free agent or if anything happens, he's gonna come to Miami. Remember I told you that?
Yeah.
I tell you, he's gonna be an option. If we could get Harbaugh and Deshaun Watson, don't be surprised if we end up picking up Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley and Waddle? Oh my God.
But my problem is
Crazy
like,
combination.
See, this is why I want them. If they're going to acquire Watson, like I'm pretty sure they're going to, if he clears everything up. I mean, we'll know in a couple weeks. Like, okay, I've heard. So my graphic designer, he lives in Hawaii. Shout out to David. He's from Texas, though. He's born in Texas. All right. One of his good friends is a lawyer in Texas. He's heard Watson's going to be, like, the word on the street is that Watson's going to be indicted. And what's crazy is because he told me this 2 days ago. The day before that, I was looking up. I was like, I forget where I was, but I happened to come by I was looking into the whole Watson thing, and I came by indictment rates in Houston, and they have like a 98, 99% indictment rate because the defense doesn't get to state their case. It's the
Texas,
prosecution goes up there, and exactly. Texas, they come for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm gonna put my theory out there. I've said this privately. I'll put it out there. When I look at the sex trafficking unit, and this has been my theory for time. When I look at the sex trafficking unit getting involved, if you look into some of the cases, a couple of the girls reference a woman basically middlemaning it, like that had a relationship with Watson. I'm wondering if he was dealing with like a madame and like a brothel situation, and they might indict him just to get him to flip. You know what I mean? Like, it might even be that. Like, it might be that. But anyways, that's just a hypothetical. Anyways, I don't know. We don't know all the details. But anyway, I don't want to go down that.
But one thing is, remember what they did to the Washington football team, and then we ended up with Gruden getting fired. You never know how these things are going to end down the road. So the Deshaun Watson thing, that's not going to end this year. And there's going I don't even know why we even bothered.
If he does not get indicted, he'll get them settled by March. Because if you
Yeah,
look
I
at it,
see that happening.
Stephen Ross wanted, if you actually look at it, Stephen Ross wanted all 22 cases settled. Then they found out they couldn't. Then then he lowered his number to like 18 or he lowered his number to like 18 or 15. Then a couple weeks later, it came out that 18 women were willing to settle.
Mm-hmm.
So, and here's the other thing too, I will say, and again, I'm just passing. This is not my opinion. This is not my opinion. I'm telling you what I've been told. When I was, when the Eagles were in on it, because he told them directly no. They're the only team that he's told directly no. Like Carolina didn't even get a point to where they fielded an offer, but they were also looking for permission to talk to him on the phone prior to the deadline. And the Eagles, dude, like full court press in terms of they hired their own private investigators and sent them down there. Like they got their own private investigators and everything involved, and they still made the offer. They offered all 3 first-round draft picks this year and their first-round draft picks next year. And they got turned down.
They also have salary cap issues, every team but us.
I'm thinking the Eagles may be tipping their hand on them knowing something as far as
that tells me that
confident.
they felt they were okay. Yeah, exactly.
That he's going to be he's going to get no more than a slap on the wrist after it all said and done.
He's going to get suspended.
It was probably confident,
even
right?
If he's not guilty, he's going to get suspended.
Right. That's what they feel.
How many games?
That's why they
how many games you think Deshaun will be suspended?
Well, that's the thing. This is a little tricky.
I would say 2 to 4. Whether this year's will be considered time served.
No. Go look at Zeke. Zeke with his domestic charge.
No.
Zeke with his domestic. Zeke's domestic against his girlfriend got dropped against him.
But this is sex. Like this is sexual. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm just saying.
But it's.
I think he got 6, and they knocked it down to 4.
Did Big Ben?
Right. So you're looking at 4.
Bro, no. And Big Ben.
No, he didn't.
Twice he's been criminally investigated. But bro, I'm gonna tell you this. Taking this from a Pittsburgh Penguins
despicable.
fan. Bro, take this from a Pittsburgh Penguins fan. If anything went down with Roethlisberger, they would never let it get out, bro. He's a god in that city, bro.
Right.
They would never.
I definitely believe that.
Because he's brought Super Bowls, right? Bro, when he brings Super Bowl, like Urban Meyer. If Urban Meyer was grinding on a chick in Jacksonville, but he brought Jacksonville a Super Bowl, y'all think people would have been like, "Oh, look at this guy."
Right.
Like, nah, bro.
Exactly.
They'd have been like, "Yo, go get yours, Urban." They'd have been like,
"Go get it."
Didn't Urban get in trouble in Ohio? All of Ohio, and he was like being covered by Ohio, like he was the second coming, you know?
Yeah. That's why I've always
he was treated like a god.
That's why I've always viewed Carolina. If the Dolphins really want him and they get caught patty cake, I've always viewed Carolina as the real dark horse because he's a god there. He brought them a national championship to Clemson.
Yeah.
That guy could murder a family and they would cover it up for him. You know what I mean?
Like Ray Carew.
You can't see him going to Denver.
You quite get away.
No, I don't see him going to Denver.
No.
I don't think he's leaving now. But if Rodgers is ever to leave Green Bay, I think that was the move.
That's what I was about to say. I don't think Rodgers leaving, especially if he wins the Super Bowl.
You want to hear something from Albright? Albright told me that people around the league have told him they view Tua right now as a left-handed Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh wow!
Left-handed Teddy Bridgewater.
And that's after. After the injury, though. Before injury, Teddy was nice.
Yeah, Teddy was.
Yeah, Teddy was. Teddy had some good days.
But taking it back to Harbaugh, that man took Kaepernick in Kaepernick was his second year in the league or something like that to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He can't take Tua to the Trust me, this guy, he'll love Tua as far as what Tua can bring. Like he'll just build an O-line and build a running game. Because when I see Flores,
go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
when I see Flores, man, let's face the facts. The last 3 years, aside from the coaching staff being a shit show, he doesn't have a plan for offense. He's a man without a plan. It's 3 years now. He can't make excuses anymore.
Where has he got better as a coach? That's my question. Where has Flores gotten better as a coach? He hasn't gotten better anywhere.
Only in mid-season.
Our offense
only in mid-season.
Our offense stayed stagnant. Our special teams has regressed. And that's not just kick returning. It's regressed like punting and kicking and field goal kicking. And our defense, guys, can we all agree this ain't the same defense we saw last year?
I agree. Completely different defense. Yeah. Yeah,
and is it safe to say, Reason, that this defense has more talent?
Bad offense. Yeah, exactly. And we don't get me wrong. We saw the same defense that we had last year, but that was only against bad quarterbacks.
There you go.
Last year,
when this defense went up against great teams, it folded.
Well, can I say this?
You're right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Who's the underrated star of our defense?
Zach Seiler.
Yeah, Zach Seiler, man. I don't know why they didn't give him more snaps earlier in the season.
You know what it is? You know what the underlying?
Especially when Raekwon,
I don't know why they didn't.
Even when Raekwon was out, they didn't give him.
I don't know why
enough
they took
snaps.
I don't know why Ogba wasn't first priority to take care of in the last offseason, because now he's going to cost us a boatload of money if we got to keep him.
Reason. I got a question for you. I don't think it would happen, but what if a Jordan Davis fell to Miami? Do you think Miami would pick him up? I know our D-line's stacked. But if a guy like that fell, do you think they would take him?
I would all day.
Because I would love to see him in run packages.
What about the linebacker?
What, Powerhouse? What's going on?
The linebacker from the
Nakobe Dean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You take him?
I've heard they like Devin Lloyd.
Yeah, Devin Lloyd is not a Mike, man.
No, he's an outside linebacker.
I like Nakobe Dean better than Lloyd, man.
So do I. I would take Nakobe.
I would trade for Blake Martinez with they have cap issues and the guy's coming off an injury. Like I would trade for Blake Martinez and get him, man. He's one of the best linebackers in the game.
What about Wagner? You guys don't like Wagner?
He's old, but how old is he now?
He's getting older, man.
But we need an older player, man. He hasn't hindered his play. I don't feel like it has.
Blake Martinez is the most underrated linebacker in the game.
Go ahead, Todd.
To keep with what you said you wanted to stay on topic, Harbaugh would bring what I thought Flores would do: a solid run game mixed with a great defense. Bottom line, that's what Harbaugh would bring us.
Someone tell that to Flores.
That could win with Tua.
Is Flores the reason why we haven't drafted any running backs, or is it Greer?
Flores
has an influence on that. I would say Flores.
Think about it. Who do you think? Who do you think choice it was to take Noah instead of Jonathan Taylor?
Noah, Raekwon.
That was definitely Flores.
That's a good point.
That's Flores' footprint all over it.
Brandon Jones.
Greer likes cornerbacks too, man. He's got a history of loving cornerbacks.
Yeah, that's Flo.
Cruisin' Rum said, donate 699 said, I hope we keep Flo. One thing for sure is the players want to play for him at 1-7. The team should have quit, but they didn't. You're gonna find out on Sunday if they quit or not.
Yeah, Sunday is. You'll find out.
Does he sit in his players?
Yeah, but if you fire him,
he gets injured.
I don't know if you guys.
I think they play for themselves. I don't think they play for Flo.
I put this on Twitter. So they put out the they put out the season awards today, right? And they put it on IG. And some guy, his name's Brody Sheridan 55. You can see the comment right there. He says, "Hear me out. Why don't we get to an offensive line first? Let him play with a good O-line for a season. See if it's him or if it was the offensive line. And if it's him, then we trade for Watson." And watch this. Xavien Howard, he liked the comment. So does that mean Xavien Howard wants to see us keep it rolling with
Tua? He might believe in Tua. Yeah, he might believe in him.
Probably likes the kid too.
I don't know, man.
Man, did you see that interview Reason with X and Richard Sherman? Man, that was a good one.
Yeah.
No, I actually didn't watch it.
It was
man,
Richard
that's a
Sherman.
good one, man.
Richard Sherman's podcast.
There you go. There's Xavien Howard liked it.
And then Waddle.
What happened? I heard about that. How he raved about Waddle and he didn't really talk about Tua.
He said Javon Holland reminded him of Eric Berry.
Yeah.
I loved Eric Berry.
And he was talking about how he's always trying to get the ball because he knows if he don't get the ball, Holland's gonna get it. Like he was raving over Holland too.
Yeah.
Holland killed it with Tennessee. He played so good, but he was trying to be superhero because it's like he had to play 5 positions.
It
He had
makes
to play 5 positions in one time, man. It was crazy.
honestly, reason it makes me sick how X was treated and talked about with the way he is about his fellow teammates.
Yes,
And
Todd.
look at
I
how
agree with
he
you.
stepped up and he played. Like I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I don't think this is a secret. Everything I've been told, Xavien Howard is not a fan of Brian Flores. Like I said to someone a couple of days ago with all the stuff I was hearing, like, you know, I heard, I mean, we'll talk about it backstage. I'll tell you guys some details, but you know, man, I've heard some stuff over the last couple of weeks where like we are going to hear Matt Patricia type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong. Again, people say because I say that means I'm dissing Flores. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I'm getting the impression that there's players that don't like him, and they're gonna when they leave there, they're gonna talk mad shit about him.
I mean, look at Cal Van Noy.
Van Noy.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
surprised.
I'm saying like,
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
he's not gonna be an isolated incident. Mark my words, man. Mark my words, dude.
I heard Big O say that on multiple occasions too, man. You know what's
funny? Z-Man, I know you've been around,
Yep.
and you brought up Big O. I kind of feel like I started the Fire Flores train this year, didn't I? Like, I'm the one who got everyone riled up during the losing streak, right? I'm the one who got it. I'm the first one who came out and said, "Yo, this guy's got to go." Like, goodbye. And then he had his 7-game winning streak, and I'm like, okay, whether I want him gone or not doesn't matter. We all know he's earned the cachet for another year.
Hey, reason.
Right.
At the end of the day,
Tennessee changed everything,
the
man.
proof is
Because
in
it was
the
too
pudding.
bad.
You could see.
And what if he
Mike
loses
Gesicki
this
over there
weekend,
calling
RD?
out-
That would be back-to-back playoff teams he took big L's to.
Yep.
How do you not?
Years.
Right.
Back-to-back years.
My bad, Z-Man.
The proof is in the pudding. You heard what Gesicki said. How they didn't
Exactly.
have no
Yeah,
rain.
you heard what?
Exactly, bro.
Hey,
Like,
you heard what
come on,
Poupard
bro.
said.
Like, what the hell are y'all doing in practice at that point? Y'all not,
Hey,
y'all see the
Reason,
rain. Y'all
you
see
still
the same
talking
weather
to
that
his
we see.
trainer?
Yeah, Nick. Yeah.
Find out if Tua threw wet balls the week before.
I know. Me and Richmond were talking about it on the episode of Finish Line that'll come out tomorrow, and he was telling me how Shula used to like dunk Marino's dunk Marino's balls in a in a cooler full of water, and then give him soaking balls all week to throw with and
Y'all
snap
didn't see
with.
Well, no.
Y'all didn't see the-
What
y'all didn't see the
Poupard
5
said
reasons
on Big
Bill
O's show, like
Belichick
I
does
said,
that.
I
And
listened
Pete
to
Carroll.
Big O the other day.
Yeah.
Poupard said that's a firing offense if he didn't do it. That's he goes as far as
Who
football.
said it?
that's
Who said
fine.
that? Who said that?
Alan
Big O.
Poupard said that's
Lame Poupard.
he said if Tua did not throw any wet balls the week before or get used to it at all with that, that's a fireable offense on Flores.
Hey,
Agreed.
You didn't see the 5 reason thing on the 5 reason article. They're talking about Tua doing some new weather
Yeah.
training.
Tua talked about it after he talked about
Yeah.
how
Yeah, he did. He said going to his
season,
brother's house. Yeah.
he's talking about going to Maryland because it's wet out
Right.
in Maryland and training
Right.
out in Maryland. It's wet and cold, so training out in Maryland with
Hey,
his
Todd,
brother. Talked
That
about
might
all
need
that.
that might tell you everything you need to know right there. So
Mm.
why?
Yeah.
can't they do
Speaking
weather
of
training?
Flores,
Isn't
though,
that
Think
something
about
that
what
you
he
do?
is. Think about what you got. And I'll let you go, RJ. But think about what you drafted. You drafted a guy. Take away his whatever limitations you want to place on him. Let's not look at. But you drafted a guy who played all of his ball in Hawaii, and then in Alabama.
Exactly.
How many the guy? And then you're going to draft him in the AFC East, where he's got to go on the road to New England and Buffalo and New York.
New
In
York.
cold months. You're going to have to prepare him for that because he's never played in that. And I hear people, he's got small hands. He got small hands. Well, he's got 10-inch hands.
No, 10 inches.
He's got the same hand size as Justin Herbert. Anyways,
Doesn't Burrow
go
have
ahead.
Bigger than Kyler Murray's hands, right?
Burrow has 9-inch hands. Yeah. Go ahead, RJ.
Right.
Yeah, what I was saying about Flores though, like for me, one of the biggest mistakes that I think Flores made, and I'm not a Flores hater, nor do I love him.
Yeah.
But I think that one of the things the biggest mistake he made is like last year he had a really insubordinate OC. And this year it feels like, and this is a mistake that's really common in upper management, and a lot of these coaches, like they don't have management experience. They know football, but they don't have management experience. So when you have a really insubordinate employee, one of the things that you tend to do is hire sycophants, like yes men, to surround you with.
Exactly.
And so he didn't hire people based on merit with this new coaching staff. He hired people that weren't going to give him, a bunch of crap like this guy did. And that was a huge mistake. So for me, like personally, the thing that I want to hear from Flores this year is, this is what, I mean, he's not going to say it, but his actions will tell me he knows it. That was a mistake because of this, and that I'll never make that mistake again. Because the good people, coaches that learn how to like grow and be more successful are ones that can admit their mistakes and don't make them again.
Yeah, but he comes
That's
from
it.
which tree? Which tree does he come from?
Yeah.
They don't
But Belichick,
apologize
Bill.
for shit.
Man,
Well, they can be stubborn, right? So that's something that we have to watch out for. Like, can
Man,
that's what we
he
drafted.
admit that?
You know what it boils down to, boys, and I'll let you go, Kentucky, Florida-born. Even if he gets next year, we ain't winning shit. I mean, like, this is where I'm at with this situation. It's like, guys, let's actually sit back. You can love him. The guy has the same record as Adam Gase. Are we really going to have this conversation right now? People are remember in the
Yeah, he's
summer,
basically
boys?
the same guy.
Gase made the playoffs.
But do you remember in the summer, boys? People were trying to tell me he's the best coach we've had since Shula.
Oh, my God.
Wannstedt posting 11-game win seasons. Sperano
Exactly.
taking us to the playoffs. And I hate Gase as much as the next guy. But at least I got a playoff berth.
You
know what I
definitely
mean?
get to the playoffs with Adam Gase.
Gase was our last win.
You know what?
With Gase,
You know
we
what
won our last playoff
And
game.
RD, guess what? What was the difference between that year's and the other years of the Gase era and guys before him? Why we made the playoffs? Oh, I don't know. We had an offensive line and a run game.
Yeah,
there you go.
We just didn't have a
Big
defense,
difference.
man. That was our only
No,
problem.
here's the issue with this team is that we're like, forget the record, forget the fact that we're the most bipolar team in the entire league. Historically, there hasn't been a team this bipolar. I mean, give me a break. You don't know what you're gonna get week after week. It's been a shit show of a civil war in Miami the last 2 years, right? But the issue becomes is he gives you the vibe that he's all about winning, right? And he's all about keeping, like, he doesn't say anything out of line, right? He's very careful what he says, right? And what he does on camera and everything. There's no distractions with this guy, right? He's a family man, and what you want to root for him. But at the same time, the boneheaded decisions that have been made throughout the last 3 years, there's no coincidence that we are starting this. We are the worst team in the first half of the year after year after year, man. As in our conference, right?
What's the
and RD? What happens next year if it here's my thing. Let's say we get Watson. Let's say we add a couple pieces, but again, slow start. Are we really going to just grind it out? Here's my thing. I feel like, you know what I feel like the inevitable thing here is? That Greer and Flores are going to be gone. So you might as well get ahead of the process instead of waiting, which Ross always does, waiting till the last minute to make the move. Like, Ross has always been known as giving too much time and not pulling the plug early. My thing is, dude, I'm down to give Ross another year. I'm down, but I'm telling y'all, we're not going to win shit. Okay, we might get a first-round berth, but we're going to be out. Like, I'm already hearing that they're going to stick with Jackson, Eichenberg, Dieter, and Hunt, and they're only going to add another starting
just one tackle.
Gosh, you make me sick every time I hear that.
Watson or Tua, doesn't matter who it is. Watson or Tua, you're not setting either of those guys up for success. And like I said, RD, I don't know if you watched me lately because I haven't seen you in a while.
No, I keep
can't
on
trust
watching
you
others.
to build around my number 5 overall pick, but I'm going to trust you to build around a guy you're going to trade 4 first-round draft picks for, 2 seconds, maybe a few bodies, and who still has development left because he still has a ceiling to reach because he's still 26. And you've already shown me, let alone you can't surround these guys, you can't develop him. I'm going to trust you with that asset.
I don't even think it's.
That's why we need to get Harbaugh.
I don't even think
it's been 3 years.
I just think people just want Watson because they have an elite quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
Like,
That's
cares?
it.
People think
That's it.
that once you get Watson's gonna be here forever. No. If we don't win, he gone in 2 years. That's when his contract's up. Why would he stay with a team that wasted everything to get this dude. Wasted all the resources we have to build around this dude for us not to win. He's not gonna stay.
And
I
hey,
tell
Reed,
you
That's
one
a good
thing,
point.
I like
That's
what
a good
Ball
point.
Yeah,
Game
if he
said.
doesn't win, he's
man.
not
Hold on
gonna
a sec.
stay.
Hold on a sec. Kentucky, Florida born. Florida born, Kentucky grown. You go,
Yeah.
and then Todd after him, and then
No,
powerhouse.
I just feel like Flores could have been a great coach if he
I
would have
agree.
had Caldwell there to help bring him up, man. Like that like I'm just like, man, if he could have put his ego aside or whatever that problem was with him and Caldwell, man. He needed that leader, that guy to say, "Hey, man, this is how you put a coaching staff together." Or, "Hey, man, you need to value your veterans."
But
And insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results.
But
Yeah.
reason, here's the thing. It's so easy. Not, like we have a team, right?
Hmm.
It's so easy not to fix that O-line. The resources are there. Go trade for Laramie Tunsil. You have the money for it, right? Go get the guy from San Francisco, the guard, who's a free agent, who's top 10 in the league, right? Go get running backs, whether it's in the draft, Cordell Patterson, whoever it is, guys that can actually, the third string running back from Cleveland. You know, he's been balling out behind that O-line. Go get an offensive coordinator, not offensive coordinator, an O-line coach, right? Like these are simple moves that any head coach, especially the one who knows his troubles, right? Greer has to step in. Like somebody has to make this happen. So next year we're not a shit show as far as the personnel on offense. And then I think Gotze can call up an a game plan along with the quarterback coach, right? I don't know about Stuffville because our running game has been terrible, but they're decent enough to at least be decent. Like we have been indecent like throughout the entire year when it comes to good teams. We've been blown out completely because people don't know what they get 50 yards, and after we do the 50 yards big throws, we run trick plays.
I'm
You know
actually
what
down with
scares me
with
though?
Duke Johnson and Philip Lindsay. I actually like that combo.
I
And
love
Yeah, but
Duke.
you know
just
what
get
scares
one
me?
more
I
threat.
think Lindsay is gone next year.
You
I
know
think
what
they're
Duke
gonna
scares
run
Johnson
me
back
is
might
this
come
year.
back,
Possibly.
but
Duke Johnson's
Lindsay's
a
gone.
free agent, and he hasn't
Miles
even had
Gaskin,
anybody
I
talk to
believe
him
he'll
yet.
be back.
But weren't they
Yeah.
always going
This
to
is
draft
when
a
you
running
do
back
it to
this
get him
year?
cheap.
Like this was always their plan. Like their 3 year. Like I don't know if I've seen a lot of evidence that like makes me think that they always had the plan to fill in like the running back position on this year 3.
When did we
like,
get Duke?
I just think, man,
Sorry. When did we get Duke Johnson again? When did we
got him a
get him?
couple weeks ago.
mid-season,
Like 3
mid-season.
weeks ago.
Because
I
remember,
think it
Duke
was
Johnson
the
was big
Jets game.
with Deshaun Watson. He had success with Deshaun, and then Will Fuller had a lot of success with Deshaun. Like they were building this team for Deshaun.
It seemed like
Right?
that's what they were
See, the
doing.
thing
I don't know
is,
who
though,
mentioned it. I don't know who
Duke
mentioned it,
Johnson,
but I would be trying to get Tunsil with Watson too if you're gonna make that move.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
That would be a home run
Do
for
you think?
Greer.
but
Do
how
you
much does
think?
Tunsil
That would
do?
definitely be a home run for
Well,
Greer.
see, Todd, my whole thing is I'm not overpaying for Watson. If there's obviously gonna be backdoor communication. If I know I'm the only place Watson wants to come to, and
Oh, I agree.
I'm not paying these guys 4 or 5 first round draft picks. I mean, I'll give you
Right.
2 and a couple other picks. I mean, so
Yeah.
Well, you know what Ball Game said it perfect on your show the other day. What has Brian Flores brought to this team other than that pressure package?
Exactly.
nothing. It's just 0 blitz. That's it.
You
And
don't
the
see him
first-
stopping the run for being a defensive genius. You don't see him playing. You see him putting our corners who aren't made for zone into zone way off the receiver.
Yeah.
You don't see them making adjustments in halftime.
Exactly.
And terrible challenges.
especially offensively, man.
But I
They made
think-
a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, Dylan. I guess I was about to close it because I'm about to hit an hour and a half.
Oh no,
So
you're good.
I'll get your thoughts and then I'll go through everyone's final thoughts. Go ahead.
I was actually mostly coming up for the backstage anyways.
Okay.
But no, just quick. I'll just make it quick, man. I mean, that's wild news. Obviously, you know, the Harbaugh thing. Like, I'd be for it. Especially because I feel like he'd be able to bring, a good coaching staff here. And I actually, because and the thing about Greer is I've always said it's, he just kind of follows whoever's in charge. And I'd actually be all right with Harbaugh giving him, kind of the orders there. So I wouldn't mind that. And then if you could pair that with like a clean Deshaun Watson or whatever, or, a Tua with an improved offense, I mean, I could ride with it. It's kind of a lucky situation to fall in, so we'll see if it plays out. But
You think the Ravens stay with the other Harbaugh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pyro, your thoughts, and then I'll go through final thoughts because you just came up here too.
Oh man, I would love to have Harbaugh here. Since everybody's so ready to move off on just anything so far. So if he's here, bring him.
Yeah. All right, let's start off with final thoughts. Trey, your final thoughts, buddy. I can't hear you, bro. I think you're far away from the mic or something, or you're. Oh, he's muted. All right, Crypto, your final thoughts. Oh no, he's back.
My bad.
It's good.
Trey, go ahead, Trey. Then Crypto, go ahead, Trey.
I said appreciated being on the panel, man. First time. Thanks for letting me on.
Yeah,
but go get Deshaun. This Sunday is going to prove if Flores is going to be our coach or not. Like I said, if New England comes out and put up 50 on us and we come out flat, man, and you can't help but to question Flores' job. So let's just hope for the best.
I'm
next
staying off
season,
Twitter
man.
for 2 weeks if that happens, bro. I don't want to be around that.
Hey, for
I'm
real,
good.
like think about it. If our team
Twitter's
come
a
out
shit
flat
show
Sunday
anyway.
and these guys really just like
Hammer.
pound the rock on us and it's like just out physical us and we
Like
just
last
quit,
week.
bruh.
Oh
Man,
I love it. I love it.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know if that
that'll
happened,
kill
but Jesus.
that'll kill the whole. Oh, they didn't give up on him for 7 games narrative, won't it?
I was gonna say,
Right.
do you
Yeah.
think there's a chance we could actually see signs of giving up in this game with those
man,
saw
I
it in the
hope
fourth
not
quarter.
because I like Flores. Though.
That's
Definitely
what I'm
saw it.
saying.
The
Dude,
fourth
that
quarter,
Hilliard, that
17
Hilliard run,
points.
that Hilliard run, everyone gave 0% on that Hilliard run. Everyone.
That's what I'm saying. Do you think?
Yeah,
do you
they
think
just
with like those
basically
outbursts
shook his
that you were
hand.
talking about? Do you think maybe?
Devontae Parker had a lot of plays where he gave zero effort last
That
game.
guy needs to be on a first bus.
Yeah.
Devontae's gone.
Everybody know I got his bus ticket already printed.
Yeah, Crypto, your final thoughts.
Yeah, I
Appreciate it,
everybody
Norwegian,
know.
man. I'm out.
Yeah, take it easy, Trey.
Well, yeah, everybody pretty much know I got DBP's bus ticket been printed. It's got a date of 2018 on it, but hey, that's neither here or there. But hey, we got a big game this week. Well, not big as far as importance, but as far as the direction they're gonna go, as far as the coaching staff, as far as the staffing go. Harbaugh is a good intrigue, you know. I'm definitely down for that. He is definitely proven himself as a viable coach at this level, you know, regardless of his non-success in Michigan, but he has proven himself at the NFL level. So that's definitely a good thing. And our owners are pretty much enamored with him. He's been courting them for damn near a decade now. So, you know, I could definitely see that happening if he becomes available, as far as them seeking to upgrade at that position and everything else, you know. So if they trying to update the quarterback position, they can definitely upgrade the coaching position. No position is off limits.
Exactly.
You know. So
only Jalen Waddle, Robert Hunt, Jalen Phillips, and Javon Holland are the guys you can't talk.
Is the only
about
one
on the roster right now, right?
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
That's the only ones.
Everyone's on the table. Christian Wilkins might have earned himself a spot with his play this
What
year.
about Raekwon?
If you came to me and said, "I'll give you Aaron Donald, Jeffrey Simmons, or Dexter Lawrence," what am I saying to you? Well, bye, Raekwon. Here's the bus. Kid. And remember, I was one of the guys who put everyone on to Raekwon Davis. I love the guy, but
everyone is there.
Raekwon is there to express.
RD, your final thoughts, bud?
Yeah, man. I mean, Harbaugh, you're talking that whole family, man. Like they got it. It's the Manning family, right? They're royalty. Like you're not gonna do wrong with Harbaugh. And again, if he had gotten Harbaugh back in the day, who knows what would have happened, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we wouldn't have whiffed on so many picks and things would have ended differently. So He's an X factor. I mean, it's all speculation, right? Vegas, because he always wants to be in the West Coast. So we'll see. But as far as this Sunday is concerned, the Miami Dolphins this year, this will be one for the books because we made history. Like we're in the history books. Whatever you say about Tua, and you can because the tape is out there, right? You can make your arguments. Whatever you say about Tua, he's in the history books. He's in the history books. What he has done, no one has ever done ever, right? And it's not just a rookie deal or like this is all everybody qualifies, right? So he is, and he wasn't part of that 7-game losing streak, right? Like he was a small part of it, but he was definitely part of the entire winning streak. So, I'm excited to see the season hopefully finish in a high note, but this is definitely going to be one of the most memorable off seasons on our record for sure.
RJ, your final thoughts.
Yeah. So as far as the game on Sunday, I think it's going to be interesting. I think, especially for guys like Agba, where like if they get injured, it could cost them $40 million. It's going to be hard to ask those guys to really give their maximum effort. I mean, that's just a huge risk play. So I'm actually curious to see how much they get motivated for this weekend. But one thing I do want to talk about is long-term vision, because like one thing that I do have to give the Dolphins credit for is up and down as the season has been. Like, I think that there has been a pretty solid plan for the long-term vision as organization. Even if you look at like when they drafted all these offensive linemen, to be in this position now where we have all this cap space and we have, seen these offensive linemen play. So we know who's bad, we know who's good, and we have the cap space to replace the ones that suck. Like that requires a lot of like planning and timed out. So to be like this third year was always the year that they kind of had like their eye on for making all of this work. Right. And you can see a lot of it in like player progression stuff. Like, Davis had a horrible year, and like you might not think Hunt is a great tackle, but he definitely had a better year than the last year at tackle than Jesse Davis did. And they could have always moved Jesse Hunt to tackle, but they didn't do it, right? Because they didn't want to mess up Hunt's progression at guard because that's where they thought he was always going to play.
And now he's like a Pro Bowl guard.
Right. And he actually, the last few, those last 10 games, he was ranked really high, especially in like PFF. Like he started really coming on.
Top 5 guard in the NFL, bud.
Yeah, exactly. So like you can really see evidence where they really committed to this long-term vision where even if it meant like costing them a few games this season, and even if you go to the running back position, like, running backs tend to have the shortest shelf life of any of these players on the field. So it makes sense that you want to get one right when everything's about to peak. So I do kind of like if the right guy had fallen to them, they probably would have taken one last year. But it does make sense why they may have pushed that back, even though it hurt us this year. If you get one next year, you have him for the next 3 years of hard running, right when Tua hits his peak, right when all the linemen are now third year, fourth year, moving into becoming veterans. Like the long-term vision set up really nicely. So I have to give Greer a lot of credit. That doesn't mean Flores is going to be the right coach to get it done, though.
Stop making sense, bro. Stop making sense.
So I think a big question, like when it comes to Harbaugh, like I think it could be if you can get the opportunity to get a guy that has that experience and put that final puzzle together, it could be huge, especially if he likes the way this organization is.
Where have you been, RJ? You need to come up here more, bro. You and Trey need to come up here more, bro. I like this. Stop talking logic, bro.
Yeah. Well, so anyway, I think that this hurts a little bit, but like I still have a lot of faith in Greer and the vision. And 20 years, not one single this organization has not had the long-term vision, like to plan out, grab assets, plan for 3 years, right? Yeah. So like even though we there's been some ups and downs, let's not like get too emotionally disturbed at these guys and throw
the
them
one
out,
thing
right?
we've had consistent. The one thing we've had consistent with this franchise since Ross took over, great backstabbing. Just some of that.
But I want people to realize I did this show to show everyone basically, the past courtship and why they would want him. I want people to realize and I'm not basing this off what you said, Arch. I'm just saying, emphasizing this show is telling y'all why and be prepared for, because this is why they want this guy. And again, like I said, Harbaugh is the only option I would take over Flores going into the season. I'm okay with giving him another year, but I know how this is going to end up anyways, whether you give him another year or not.
I think Jim Caldwell.
I would take Jim
That's
Caldwell.
what I
Okay,
was
110%,
wondering.
110%.
Y'all
He
heard?
ain't coming here, bro. Right
Y'all
now.
heard Jim Caldwell was trying to.
What about
Jackson,
Leftwich?
Jackson.
The Jaguars. Yeah.
No, I don't
No,
like.
Brian, he's off the table.
I'm not a huge.
I
Leftwich
want a
guy.
veteran coach that's got a Rolodex that can
That's
build a
it.
coaching staff.
I have a small quick question. Do you think that getting Watson gives us a better chance to get a quality OC?
No, I think
No.
you can get an OC with the right coach and with anyone.
Yeah.
It's all about the coach, right? It's like, listen,
The head coach
the
is more
thing with
important
the
than
thing
the
is,
OC.
you know what Harbaugh brings
Connections.
that you know what exactly you know what Harbaugh brings that Flores doesn't, a Rolodex.
Connections.
Yes.
Right.
You can just sift through that Rolodex.
Relationships.
This guy, and they're all proven. Flores,
Right.
Well, the only connections Flores has is to the Patriots, and that's why you've seen so much transfer from it. The problem is time and time again, it doesn't work when they try and replicate from the Patriots.
And we're at the point
That's all
where
he's got.
But
That's
what
all
he's
he's
doing
got.
is when he pulls people from the like Chad O'Shea. Chad O'Shea was not proven. He pulled him and said, "Okay, prove yourself." Like this guy's out here thinking he can create coaching trees from the rip, and it's
Man.
like, bro,
Harbaugh's got connections all over the league, though. That's the thing.
and we're at the point
Flores
to
only had
where
connections
and it's
to the
like, yo, you look at
Patriots.
Belichick. You know, okay, Belichick. First of all, Belichick, when he went to New England, had all these connections in this Rolodex because that was Parcells' guy.
Yes.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
Flores, as much as we all liked him coming from New England, that was never Belichick's. Like, I think if anyone pointed us to a Belichick's guy, we'd probably all pick McDaniels. That's probably the guy because McDaniels
Look
even
at the
came
guys in
back.
Cleveland.
McDaniels came back because he was told you're the succession plan when I leave. Like, that's how much that's his
pretty
guy.
obvious.
But just to go off you, RJ, over the last 5 games, Robert Hunt, he has an 84.6 overall PFF grade. That's 4th amongst guards. He has 193 pass block snaps, 0 sacks allowed, and he's only allowed 2 pressures. And we showed
he
on
finished
film he was picking up stunts while Jackson was still whipping on picking up stunts. So you're seeing like tangible growth on him.
50% of the snaps, 50% of the snaps, Davis was on his ass.
Yeah.
Hunt's the one.
Well, that's
I
what I'm
think-
saying. Look at what Hunt's doing with Davis to his right.
Exactly.
And
Imagine
he's at
Orlando.
a turnstile at center next to his left because
Yeah.
Austin Reeder was trash, bro. That guy was so bad. And Dieter, last couple of games have not been pretty for Michael Dieter. Anyways,
Hunt's about as sure thing as you got.
yeah, and I just, people were like, "Oh, you got to kick back to right tackle early on the season." I was like, "Yo, let it play out," and he's turning into the guy in my evaluation. I said this guy could be a Pro Bowl guard. I stand by that. Go ahead, Dylan. Final
Thanks for
thoughts.
having me. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. For 10 minutes.
Yeah. No, it's cool. I mean, I was listening for most of the show because it was really intriguing stuff. So,
too.
yeah. I mean, just thanks for having me up here. Appreciate the info. I think we're gonna get spanked this week.
Better
but I hope
believe it.
not. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. It's gonna
Ball
be a
game wouldn't even
fascinating
make his
offseason.
prediction. Ball game wouldn't even make his prediction on the finish line today because he thinks it's gonna be that bad. He's like, I don't even want to put it out there.
I agree with you, Bob.
I'll tell you what I think. I think it's gonna be 41-10. Boom.
Is it gonna rain?
Is it gonna rain? This guy.
Yeah, it's gonna
Too
rain
soon,
points
Marty.
for the
Too
Patriots.
soon.
Are we sitting out players? Do we know that?
It's gonna be. You know what? This guy's gonna be 41-10, and Mac Jones is gonna throw for 196 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, and they're still gonna find a way to put up. Did you guys?
they'll get like 6 rushing touchdowns.
They gonna bludgeon the shit out of us on the ground.
Yo, did y'all
Exactly.
did y'all see the? I'll show you when we go backstage. Did y'all see the meme the Patriots fans were putting out about the Dolphins end zone today?
Oh my God!
It was a picture of the Dolphins end zone, and they photoshopped like the painting in the end zone, so it has like the Dolphins logo, and then in it says, "Welcome, Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson." I'm like, oh, because they're just gonna run it down our throats. But,
Yeah.
We don't need no
It's
Bernard.
gonna be
Wow.
sad, bro.
You don't think our guys are gonna respond to that?
Fuck
No, I think
They don't
we'll hold
care.
up for a little bit at the
Bro,
beginning.
this is
of the
it's
game.
over, bro.
But yeah,
I
at
know
some
it's
point,
over.
They have
Man,
nothing
At
to
some
fight
point,
for.
bro,
Kentucky
the
Bone.
floodgates are just.
I'm sorry. I hate
I'm gonna tell you
the
this right now.
optimism,
I'm
man.
gonna tell
I'm
you this
sorry.
right now. I'm not
Tennessee
gonna tell
beat
you
that
what I
out of them,
believe.
bro.
I'm not gonna tell you what I believe. But you look at Tua's body language after the Saints game and this game.
It's over.
Yeah.
Try and convince me he's not checked out on the coaching staff. Just try and convince
So
me. He
many
doesn't
of
look
these
jacked
guys
up.
are, bro.
Bro,
Like,
Reason, you remember I told you? I said after the game.
That's an indictment on the coach.
When he was
Everybody,
walking,
right?
from the hood
All
and
them
stuff,
dudes see how they shitted on this kid, man. It's a wrap, bro.
The win streak meant nothing.
You see Tua's body language, and even in the interview, he's like, "Bro, I don't really give a shit about this interview or nothing."
I know.
I've been hearing this since the beginning
Bro,
of
y'all
the
remember?
I got drafted.
Dude, y'all remember I told you I heard, and we'll go into detail when we go backstage. Y'all remember I told you I had that there was an argument after the Titans game? Bro, I heard about this argument came directly from a player. Like, this is not like there was a party involved in this information coming to me, but it came directly from, and I even know who the player is. Like, it's not good, bro. Like, it is like y'all remember back when I was when we were losing and I was hypothesizing that there might have been cliques developing, like an anti-Flores clique and
different factions.
When I heard this, I was like, "Yo, that shit legitimately is down." And people thought because we won 7 in a row, everything that happened before went out the window. Nah, man, it didn't. Like it
it just got put on pause.
Yeah, exactly.
It just was put on pause. That's it.
With brewing for years, bro.
Well, with that
Who
being
Brian
said,
Flores has been since he's got here.
With
Go
that
ahead,
being
Brian.
said,
Yo, Florida born, it's your final thoughts. You go.
well, with you saying that and bringing that up, man, they got to get rid of Flo, man. Because even if Tua's gone, that's not going to fix the problem. There's still going to be division, man.
Exactly.
They got to fix this, man. I mean, we are on the precipice of being great, man. I truly believe that if they do this right with all the free agency money we got open and the draft, man, whether you go Watson, whatever, we are on the precipice of being great. And that's my one man's opinion.
Yo, Florida born. Have I ever I know you listen to me all the time. Have I ever been against acquiring Deshaun Watson?
No, just if the price was right. And the only thing was the allegations.
No, fix the old line.
Yeah, and the allegations, and I don't trust these guys to build around them. That's it.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
the number one fear that people have if Flo leaves, it's like, well, we might not have a good defense. Bro, you got the players.
You got
The players. We were absolute shit.
You could
the first
fight,
8 weeks.
Bro, you could fire him, bring in a new guy, and the new guy brings, and I'm not even saying, but like, let's use Harbaugh as an instant.
Man,
Harbaugh brings in Vic Fangio, and are we even talking about Brian Flores?
Man, well, you know what I was thinking, Jim and John.
Bring Rex out of retirement, man.
Fuck that. I'd interview, take the job, and be able to fucking do what this guy.
There you go.
Yeah.
But we'd be sound and all.
All you gotta do is time when you call your cover zero packages, bro. That's all you gotta do. Like, just situational play calling, you'll be good. Todd, your final thoughts.
I can't remember a time when we had a coach that could build a staff and teach these guys. You know how many players have come in our
Don
doors?
Shula.
Yeah, that's about it.
I'll give Jimmy credit. Jimmy could build a staff.
Yeah.
But you gotta look at how many players I've seen come in these doors and go be good players elsewhere. Just because they're not coached.
Paging Charles Harris.
I'm trying to tell y'all, they buried a body, bro, when they went.
I
72 team, man.
I gotta hold myself accountable, bro. I
agree with you, ball game on that one.
I gotta hold myself accountable. I'm on record as calling Flores a defensive genius, yet some other defensive genius was the one who unlocked Charles Harris. It wasn't us.
It's just the fact that
look what happened with Mika. Look what happened with
Mika. You know what I'm worried about is all
the
veterans giving the middle finger to Flores this last game. Because the click is Byron Jones on Flores side, the rest of the team against. That's the click.
It's just Byron Jones. That's it. That's all he's got.
Byron and Baker
right there. Everybody else will be looking at him like,
He gets like Noah and Hunter Long and not even a Landon Roberts. Landon Roberts switched sides.
Yeah, Baker and Byron are definitely.
Yeah, and Landon Roberts definitely doesn't appreciate how to.
And I know
treated because
RJ, you were the one who made the point about the roster and how he surrounded himself, right?
Which one?
Who made the
With
point
the yes
about
man.
Yeah, surrounding himself with yes men. Is that you? Okay.
Flo did that with the coaches.
So if you go back, you can see it on Patreon if you're a Patreon, and you can also pull out the receipt. I reported way back in the summer that everything I was understanding was veterans were watching the Xavien Howard thing closely because there was a belief in the locker room that he doesn't get along and treat veterans very well. He treats the rookies and the guys who haven't figured out the business and got paid yet. He treats them well because he can push them around. They have to listen to him because their next contract and their NFL livelihood is in his hands. Their balls are in his hands. Just like with these, you go click on that coaching staff. How many guys do you click on and their first tenure in the NFL is the one they're currently on with us? Again, guys, they can't afford to say no. Like they'll be back coaching Pee Wee next week. You know what I mean? Like remember our offensive line coach last year he came from high school, right? Like
wow,
like Marshall. I'm pretty sure Steve Marshall came from high school. Like you see what's going on. It's like what the hell. Anyways, Todd, finish your point, and then Powerhouse. Go ahead.
Yeah, the one last thing I'm gonna say is y'all know if y'all want Gesicki back, whoever wants him back, better hope Flores isn't here because after Gesicki threw him under the bus, he's gone.
Oh yeah,
he's gone.
Oh yeah.
Tell me Gesicki ain't checked out now.
Yeah.
He was already checked out to you.
Yeah, he was definitely already checked
Yeah, but
out.
to say that they had no
Since the Baltimore
preparation
game.
for that weather.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing, bro.
He knew.
Good for him too, bro. Be frank. It sounded like a guy who was being frank and it was out the door. That's what it sounded like.
The
a
fan
guy
base.
who's like, I'm not
Gesicki's
protecting
pretty
you.
much always been that way, though.
Yeah,
He's always been pretty like upfront with shit, and I love it.
Yeah.
I love
Shout
it.
out to
I'm here
Fred for the
it.
$2.99, Irving for super sticker. Powerhouse, go ahead, buddy. It's been a while.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I know it's been a minute. I've been dealing with
Powerhouse.
some stuff. Yeah, I know it's been a minute, Pyro.
Been grinding.
But yeah.
Urban Meyer in a club.
Yeah, but as far as my final thoughts, I'm mentally done with Flo because there's no excuse for going 1-7. Yeah, I enjoyed the 7-game winning streak, but those are teams we're supposed to win if we're being honest. And honestly, the reason why I want to get Harbaugh is because if we have the same team without Flo and his coaching staff and we would replace it with Harbaugh and his coaching staff, we're automatically in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Just think we win 3 or 4 more games. So honestly,
easy.
I believe that we go with Harbaugh in the offseason if he's an option. So yeah, that's just my take.
Pyro, your final thoughts, dude.
I just got a one-up Powerhouse, man. I am physically and spiritually done with that fool, man. I want him out. As soon as I saw that, I was like, please, God, have mercy and let it happen. Man, that was just an answer to my prayers when that came out, man. I was so just excited about that. That was the best news I heard all damn year. I may come out this hole. But
the clouds parted.
Man, the clouds parted. God peeked his head out.
Ray of sunshine down the hole.
It's still time, my son. And he's right. I'm just when this fool said that he made this team practice in that monsoon because he was gonna prep him for some type of weather like that, and for you not to have a game plan, bro, I'm sorry. I'm done with you, man. Please get the fuck out of here, bro. Get out of here, man. Well, yeah, that's all I got. I'm not gonna say fins up because right now this team is just an embarrassment, man.
Ball game, let them have it.
Nah, I ain't got nothing for him, man.
Oh, wise one.
Oh yeah, that episode
like
comes out tomorrow on
Dolphins.
Spotify and iTunes.
Yeah.
By the way, thank you, ball game. For
About 10
opening my
minutes
eyes.
in.
Open your eyes to what, Todd?
When you said all he brought was that package. That's all he brought.
Yeah. That's
you made
it,
me
bro.
think about that.
Right.
I appreciate you for bringing that up.
Yeah, no problem, man. I mean, I had so much other shit I wanted to say, man, but I just feel like at this point, bro, fuck these guys, man.
Let them know.
That's what's up,
Let
Tell them how you
him know.
The biggest thing for me, and I don't give a shit what anybody really got to say in the chats about how I talk about Tua and things of this nature. It's just for me, the fact is they failed as humans, bro, because at the end of the day, if you didn't want this kid, and you didn't believe in him, then why did you even put him through all of this shit? You don't take people's livelihoods and their careers, man, and just screw around with it like this. You had Herbert sitting there. If you was that in love with him, you had a man crush on him, then you should have fucking sat your ball. You should have sat your balls on the table and told your GM and your owner, give me the guy I want.
Preach.
You know what I mean? But no, you decided to freaking
throw your balls on the table for no egg-benogany.
Yeah.
Man, ain't that the truth?
And Raekwon Davis, he actually did.
And them balls got chopped the fuck off too.
And then here, and here we are now with not knowing really what the fuck's gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
And no real direction, because it's all speculation as to what's gonna happen. And they sitting around, you know what I'm saying? They sitting around like a eager youngster on the night before the prom, when the girl promise you she gonna do the do with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You hoping and praying she don't back out on you or something comes along. Or, you know what I'm saying?
Right back where we started.
That's where we sitting at now.
All nervous, palm sweating.
This shit is crazy, bro. I'm like, how the hell? Yeah, bro.
What's crazy? Can you hear me? What's crazy is that this team now has shown us for 3 years what they like, they don't like. That is why they sign people, they release them the following year, right? And even though it's a 3-year contract, they draft people, they sit them out forever, whether it's Noah Benogany or they bench Tua, right? They don't commit to anybody as far as long term, right?
Except Jackson.
They can't develop.
They can develop. Like, they draft these guys. They have a vision, right? This is what I'm saying as far as
I've been
flow.
doing this
Flow
shit
is
since
unproven.
79, bro.
Flow
Since
is
1979. I've been doing this shit with this team.
Hey, ball game. It comes all the way down to where we could have had Zach Cunningham off waivers, who would have helped us in the run defense that we were missing.
We had
But no, you don't even throw in a claim on him.
But just think about that.
We have
TNT.
McKinney.
Remember
You're right.
that? TNT takes no talent.
Yeah,
that shows like that.
The only thing, our long snapper, our long snapper, right, and our kicker. Those are the only positions that we've had continuity on. Every single thing has been like 50 players that have been there the last 3 years.
A lot of
right?
turnover for the past 3 years.
I see a lot of people, man, always talking about these undrafted guys. Like, for me, man, at this point, bro, like, I'm sick of bargain bin basement shopping.
Facts.
Especially in key areas like the damn offensive line.
Offensive line, fucking wide receiver, running back. All this
You're
shit.
right. You're right,
Hold on,
ball game.
hold on,
It's
hold on,
time to
hold on.
shop at Whole Foods for a change.
Ain't even for me. It's about even. Man, listen, you'd have to be a freaking idiot to think that Watson's not a better option at quarterback. But I just have zero faith in these guys to put around him what's necessary for him to be successful. Asking this kid to come in, right, after what they've shown you, asking this kid to come in, put on a damn cape, and be superhero is really that's what they're gonna ask him to do. And then when he fails, or if he doesn't, if he fails,
or if he gets hurt.
Oh well, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
the narrative is always, Fitz,
they're okay.
Fitz this and Fitz that, man. Fuck
yeah.
Fitz, man. What did Fitz really do?
Like I said that, like they basically asked a number 5 overall 23-year-old kid go do a lot with a little.
Yeah.
What do you think they're gonna ask a guy who's already done a lot in this league in terms of that 4,800 yard season with 33 touchdowns? They're gonna say, oh, he did it with nothing. You don't need upgrades.
Yeah, he got a whole bunch of individual stats, but those stats
gotta be running for his life.
Wins.
Right, but they don't understand
Ball
the
game.
ball game.
You know,
Davis Mills did the same thing.
Ball game. You look at this.
I would rather
look at all
be a DuBois, a glorified DuBois for Harbaugh, who has a proven track record, than Flores, who has no track record that's been proven.
Yeah, listen, bro. I'm not. Listen, I mean, I understand the upgrades and the happiness about the possibilities of there being a coaching change and all that stuff, but we still in the middle of trying to figure out a culture change. You feel me?
Because guess what? Harbaugh would bring a different culture.
They probably would change the culture.
But hold on. We've been doing final thoughts for like 25 minutes.
Okay? Yeah.
I gotta get out of
bro.
here.
Yeah.
I gotta get out of here. I'll be back tomorrow night around 8:30, and we'll preview the final game of the season. between the Patriots and the Dolphins, and then the final live reaction of the season will be on Sunday. Until then, there's still over 300 of you. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new.
Y'all
Appreciate y'all.
Y'all want to know how I really feel? Watch the show from Tuesday night.
Yeah, there you go. Or go listen to the Finish line coming out tomorrow on Spotify, iTunes, under Dolphins Talk. The guy has a beautiful rant at the start of the show. I go in for the first 7 minutes. Then
on Tuesday.
Then Richmond goes in, and then Ballgame goes in for like the first 15 minutes are us ranting. So that episode will be coming out
Such a great
tomorrow on
podcast.
Can't wait.
Dolphins Talk.
Yeah, I can't wait.
All right, guys.
I'm looking forward to that ball game.
Love you. We'll see y'all
Thanks,
tomorrow.